comes a moment in every person's life when they realize they've been giving too much power away. Power to words that don't deserve a response. Power to people who don't deserve a reaction. Power to situations that were meant to grow you, not break you. And when that moment comes, when you finally get tired of being emotionally pulled in every direction, something inside of you says, no more. That's the moment you begin to learn how to never get angry or bothered by anyone. You see, peace is not something that just happens. Peace is chosen. It's guarded. It's built through discipline. We often think peace is about everything around us being quiet and perfect. But real peace is when you're calm in the middle of chaos. When you can stand in a storm and still smile because you've learned that nothing outside of you can shake what's anchored inside of you. So many people wake up and hand over their peace before the day even begins. One text message, one rude comment, one disappointment, and suddenly their entire mood is controlled by someone else's behavior. But when you decide to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, you stop living as a victim of people's actions. You start living as the protector of your own energy. You start saying, I refuse to let what's around me get inside of me. You cannot control what others do, but you can control how you respond. That's where true freedom begins. When you reach a point where you no longer feel the need to explain, defend, or react, you are walking in strength. People may misunderstand you. They may talk about you. They may even try to provoke you. But when you've mastered yourself, you realize that their behavior has nothing to do with your peace. Most people don't realize that anger is an invitation to lose control, to lower your vibration, to disconnect from your purpose. Every time you accept that invitation, you're letting someone else drive your emotions. But the moment you decline it, the moment you say, no, I choose peace today, you're reclaiming your power. You're teaching your spirit how to remain still when the world is noisy. There's a sacred strength that comes when you stop reacting, when you start pausing. That pause between what happened and how you respond, that's where wisdom lives. That's where maturity grows. It's in that pause that you hear the whisper of guidance saying, don't fight this battle. I've got this one. You see, not every situation needs your energy. Some things only exist to test whether you'll choose peace or pride. When you learn to walk away without anger, you're not weak, you're wise, because it takes strength to be silent when you could defend yourself. It takes power to smile when someone tries to tear you down. It takes deep confidence to say, I know who I am. And nothing you do can make me forget that. You stop needing to prove yourself because you've already accepted yourself. The truth is, anger is often a disguise. It's what we show when we're hurt, when we're disappointed, when we feel unseen or disrespected. But when you learn to see beyond the surface, when you understand that most people act out of their own pain, it becomes harder to be angry and easier to be compassionate. You start realizing that the person who just offended you is probably battling something within themselves. Their outburst isn't about you, it's about them. And once you understand that, you stop taking things personally. You stop absorbing energy that isn't yours. You start walking through the world lighter, softer, calmer. You smile more. You breathe deeper. You stop waiting for people to change and start choosing to change your response to them. The truth is, life will always bring people who test your patience. Some will criticize you for no reason. Some will lie about you, reject you, or try to pull you into drama. But remember this, their opinion doesn't define your worth. Their treatment doesn't diminish your value. The way they see you doesn't change the truth about who you are. So don't waste your peace trying to convince anyone to see what they've already decided to ignore. When you stop getting angry, you start seeing clearly. You begin to notice that anger clouds your vision. It makes you say things you later regret. It makes you carry emotional baggage that was never meant for you. But peace gives you clarity. Peace lets you see beyond the moment. Peace whispers, this doesn't deserve your energy. This too shall pass. Have you ever realized how many blessings are delayed because of distraction? When you're angry, you're distracted. You're focused on what they said, what they did, how unfair it was. And in that state, you can't hear divine instruction. You can't receive inspiration. You can't move forward because your mind is stuck replaying pain. But the moment you release it, the moment you say, I'm done letting this bother me, everything starts flowing again. You start feeling lighter, more creative, more aligned. You start waking up without the heaviness that used to weigh you down. That's what happens when you stop letting anger live rent free in your spirit. You make room for joy. You make room for healing. You make room for peace to move in and take over. But here's the truth. Learning not to get angry doesn't mean you never feel anger. It means you've learned how to process it. It means you've learned to sit with it, understand it, and release it instead of letting it control you. You start asking, what is this anger trying to teach me? Maybe it's showing you where your boundaries need strengthening. Maybe it's revealing where you still seek validation. Maybe it's reminding you to heal old wounds that are still tender. Once you learn to listen instead of react, anger becomes your teacher instead of your enemy. You no longer explode, you evolve. You no longer curse the moment. You bless it for showing you where you need to grow. And that's when real maturity happens. People who master peace don't live easy lives. They've just learned to guard their energy like treasure. They choose silence when others choose noise. They choose prayer when others choose revenge. They choose grace when others choose gossip. They know that every reaction either builds or breaks your inner strength, so they respond from wisdom, not emotion. When you learn how to never get angry or bother, it's not about pretending things don't affect you. It's about realizing that they no longer control you. You feel the emotion, but you don't become it. You witness the moment, but you don't surrender your peace to it. You speak truth when necessary, but you no longer need to shout to be heard. You learn that silence can be more powerful than any argument. There's something sacred about choosing peace in a world that thrives on reaction. The world expects you to clap back, to defend, to fight, to prove. But when you choose calm, you disarm everything. You become unpredictable. You stop feeding the drama and it starves. You stop reacting to manipulation and it loses power. You stop chasing validation and suddenly nothing external can shake you. And the beauty of it all is that people start noticing. They start wondering how you stay so composed, how you keep smiling, how you remain so grounded when life tries to shake you. That's when you know you've mastered something powerful, not by controlling others, but by mastering yourself. You start becoming a mirror of peace. People feel calm around you because your energy radiates stability. You stop matching people's chaos and start influencing it. Instead of letting their storm affect your mood, your peace starts calming their storm. That's what spiritual growth looks like. You stop absorbing chaos and start embodying calm. You don't owe anyone your reaction. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain your silence. You don't have to justify your peace. The more you grow, the quieter you become, not because you don't care, but because you finally understand what's worth your energy and what's not. Every day, you'll be faced with moments that try to steal your calm. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone taunts you, someone betrays you. Someone lies about you. And in that split second, you'll have a choice to react or to rise, to let it define your day or to let it go, to let anger in or to keep peace flowing. That choice determines your emotional quality of life. Remember, what people say about you reveals who they are, not who you are. So don't let words wound what God already healed. Don't let temporary emotions destroy permanent peace. Don't let small-minded people make you forget your big purpose. Sometimes peace looks like walking away. Sometimes peace looks like saying nothing. Sometimes peace looks like smiling and letting it be. That's not weakness. That's mastery. That's knowing that the more you grow, the less you need to prove. The higher you rise, the less noise you make. When you start valuing your peace, your circle changes. You stop entertaining gossip. You stop engaging in meaningless debates. You stop surrounding yourself with people who drain your energy. You start seeking environments that nourish your soul, conversations that elevate your mind, and relationships that protect your calm. Every time you choose peace over anger, you're choosing power over weakness. You're teaching your emotions to follow your wisdom instead of leading it. You're learning to respond instead of react. That's the highest form of strength, emotional intelligence guided by divine patience. There will be days when your peace is tested so deeply that your silence will feel like the loudest statement you can make. You'll want to defend yourself, to clap back, to expose the truth, but you'll realize peace doesn't need proof. Time reveals everything. Silence exposes what words can't. And when you let things unfold naturally, you remain untouchable. You'll know you've grown when you can listen to gossip about yourself and feel nothing. When you can see someone trying to provoke you and simply smile. When you can walk away from conflict without guilt or fear. That's when you've reached emotional mastery, when nothing disturbs the stillness inside you. And that's what peace really is. It's not the absence of storms. It's the presence of calm within them. It's knowing that nothing anyone does can take from you what they didn't give you. Your peace is divine. It's not negotiable. It's your birthright. So learn to protect it. Learn to pause before you respond. Learn to breathe before you speak. Learn to smile before you react. Every time you do, you're rewriting your story. You're showing the world that peace is power, not passivity. You're reminding yourself that your emotions serve you. You don't serve them. And maybe one day you'll look back and realize that all those moments that once triggered you no longer have power. That the same situations that used to make you angry now make you wiser. That's when you'll know you've mastered yourself. Because the goal isn't to never feel. The goal is to never let what you feel control your peace. It's to rise so high in emotional strength that nothing outside of you can pull you down. To love deeply but stay grounded. To see clearly but remain kind. To face chaos but remain calm. That's how you never get angry or bothered by anyone. You simply decide that your peace is more important than any argument. Your purpose is bigger than any distraction. And your spirit is stronger than any provocation. You don't lose when you walk away. You win. Because peace is the greatest victory there is. So today and every day forward, choose calm, choose grace, choose to be unbothered. Because when you stop letting people pull you into chaos, you step into divine control. When you stop reacting, you start leading. When you stop fighting battles that don't matter, you start winning the ones that do. And one day someone will ask how you stay so peaceful in a world so loud. And you'll simply smile and say, because I finally learned not everything deserves a reaction. When you master yourself, no one can disturb your peace. That truth is both simple and profound. The real battle in life is never against people, situations, or circumstances. It's within. The moment you begin to understand yourself, study your reactions, and take responsibility for your emotions, you begin to rise above everything that used to shake you. Mastery is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling your response to it. It's about becoming so grounded, so centered, so aware of who you are that no one's words, energy, or behavior can move you from your calm. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. They wake up happy if people treat them right and frustrated if someone crosses them. Their peace depends on what happens around them instead of what happens within them. But when you've mastered yourself, your peace no longer depends on external conditions. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the emotional temperature of your life instead of letting the world do it for you. Self-mastery begins with awareness. You start noticing what triggers you. You start paying attention to what kind of situations steal your peace. Maybe it's being disrespected. Maybe it's being ignored. Maybe it's when people misunderstand your intentions. Whatever it is, those triggers are your teachers. They show you where your work lies. They show you where you need healing. Because peace doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from understanding it. It comes from learning to stay calm, even when you're misunderstood, to remain kind, even when you're disrespected, to stay grounded, even when you're disappointed. When you've mastered yourself, you no longer rush to react. You pause, you breathe, you choose. That small pause is the difference between chaos and calm, between regret and wisdom. In that pause, you hear the quiet voice reminding you that you don't have to participate in every argument you're invited to. You realize that some things are beneath your energy level. You realize that walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. People who have mastered themselves don't need to prove anything. They don't need validation. They don't need to be understood by everyone. They know who they are, and that knowing brings peace. They no longer chase explanations or closure. They give it to themselves. They don't try to change people's minds or hearts. They understand that everyone operates from their own level of awareness. Instead of being offended, they observe. Instead of reacting, they reflect. Instead of arguing, they understand. That's what mastery looks like. The ability to stay calm when chaos knocks at your door. The ability to smile when others expect you to break. The ability to rise above instead of sink into negativity. You begin to realize that peace is not something you find, it's something you create. You cultivate it by staying disciplined with your thoughts, selective with your company, and intentional with your energy. You stop letting emotions lead and start letting wisdom guide. The more you master yourself, the more predictable peace becomes. Because peace is not luck, it's a decision. You decide every day not to let the world dictate your emotions. You decide that your joy isn't negotiable. You decide that your heart will stay soft even when the world gets hard. And in that decision lies power. Because when you master yourself, people can no longer manipulate your reactions. They can no longer pull you into their storms. You start living above offense. You learn to separate people's pain from your peace. You recognize that what people project onto you is often a reflection of what's unresolved within them. You stop internalizing their issues. You stop trying to fix, fight, or prove. You realize that not every battle deserves your energy. Some things are not worth winning if it costs you your calm. So instead of matching their chaos, you stay still. You keep your spirit unshaken. You remain rooted in your truth. Self-mastery doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. It means you don't let emotions control you. You can feel anger without becoming it. You can experience hurt without acting from it. You can be disappointed and still choose grace. The strength of a person is not measured by how loud they are when provoked, but by how calm they can remain when tested. That's when you know you've evolved. When peace becomes your default response instead of anger. There will always be people who test your patience. There will always be words said that sting. There will always be situations that tempt you to react. But once you've mastered yourself, you realize that the test isn't about them. It's about you. It's about seeing if you can maintain peace even when it's easier to lose it. It's about proving to yourself that you've grown beyond needing to be right or validated. It's about realizing that peace is the prize, not the argument. People will wonder how you stay calm when others would explode. They'll wonder why you don't clap back or defend yourself. And that's when you'll know that you've tapped into something sacred, the kind of peace that doesn't depend on understanding, but on alignment. You've aligned with your higher self, your purpose, your truth. You've learned that protecting your peace is more valuable than proving your point. When you master yourself, your energy speaks louder than your words. People can feel your calm before you say a thing. They sense your balance. They see that you're not easily moved. That's a power that can't be faked. It's cultivated through discipline, reflection, and surrender. It's knowing that peace is not passive, it's active. It's something you fight for daily by choosing not to engage in negativity, not to dwell in anger, not to entertain gossip or fear. You also begin to understand that peace and pride cannot live in the same space. You can't stay peaceful while clinging to the need to be right. You can't stay calm while feeding your ego. True mastery is humility in motion. It's saying, I don't need to win this argument. I need to keep my peace. It's knowing that not every opinion requires your response, and not every challenge deserves your presence. You become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. You start spending more time in silence, in reflection, in gratitude. You spend less time defending and more time becoming. You stop chasing approval and start honoring your peace. And the moment you stop needing external validation, no one can control you anymore. That's freedom. That's mastery. Mastery means being able to stand in the middle of misunderstanding and stay still. It's being able to see beyond offense and choose empathy. It's being able to detach from drama without feeling guilty. When you reach that level, you no longer attract chaos because your energy doesn't feed it. You attract calm, clarity, and people who value peace as much as you do. Everything begins to shift when you master yourself. Your tone softens. Your words carry more weight because they're not driven by emotion, but by purpose. Your presence becomes healing instead of reactive. You start inspiring others to rise above as well, not because you preach peace, but because you embody it. People see that peace in you, and they start seeking it in themselves. Self-mastery is not a destination, it's a daily practice. Every morning you wake up and choose who you want to be. Do you want to be controlled by the world or guided by peace? Do you want to be triggered by everything or grounded in everything? You practice it in small ways. When someone cuts you off, when someone criticizes you, when life doesn't go your way. Each time you choose peace, you're strengthening your mastery. You're proving to yourself that you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. You stop reacting to noise and start listening to stillness. You stop rushing to fix others and start nurturing yourself. You stop letting pain define you and start letting peace refine you. Mastery turns storms into lessons, pain into perspective, and triggers into teachers. You begin to live differently, speak differently, and think differently, because once you master yourself, the world loses its power to disturb you. Guard your energy the way you guard your heart, because your energy is sacred. It's your life force. Your light, your ability to think clearly, love deeply, and walk confidently in your purpose. When your energy is low, everything around you starts to feel heavy. You start attracting confusion, doubt, frustration, and negativity. But when your energy is protected, you move differently, you speak differently, you choose differently. You stop entertaining things that drain you and start surrounding yourself with what sustains you. Guarding your energy means being intentional about what you allow into your mind, your space, and your spirit. Every single day, you are giving energy to something or someone. You give energy through your attention, through your emotions, through your conversations. Whatever you give your focus to, you are feeding. So if you constantly focus on stress, gossip, anger, or comparison, you are feeding those things and letting them grow inside of you. But if you focus on gratitude, peace, and purpose, you are nurturing your growth and keeping your inner world healthy. Guarding your energy is about choosing where your attention goes and refusing to give it to anything that doesn't align with your peace. There are people who thrive on chaos, who live off drama, who survive by pulling others into their storms. And if you're not careful, they will drain your energy until you have nothing left for yourself. Guarding your energy means recognizing that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone should get your time, your ear, or your emotional investment. You can love people and still keep your boundaries strong. You can care deeply and still say no. That doesn't make you unkind. It makes you wise. Because peace is not found in saying yes to everyone. It's found in protecting what fuels your soul. You must start paying attention to how you feel after being around certain people. Do they lift you up or pull you down? Do they leave you inspired or exhausted? That's your spirit speaking to you, letting you know where your energy thrives and where it's being drained. Protecting your energy means honoring those signals. It means not forcing yourself to stay in spaces that suffocate your peace. It means leaving conversations that poison your joy. It means knowing that your mental and emotional health are too valuable to risk for the sake of pleasing others. There's power in being selective with your surroundings. You don't have to explain why you're quieter now, why you don't attend every event, why you don't reply to every message. When you're protecting your energy, you understand that silence is strength. You realize that not every phone call deserves an answer. Not every comment needs a response. And not every argument requires your participation. You start valuing peace over popularity, stillness over stimulation, solitude over validation. Guarding your energy also means watching what you feed your mind, the things you read, watch, and listen to shape your thoughts. And your thoughts shape your emotions. If you constantly consume negativity, fear, or judgment, that becomes the energy you radiate. So be intentional about what you consume. Feed your mind with wisdom, with truth, with encouragement. Fill your space with things that make your spirit breathe freely. Music that soothes you, words that inspire you, prayers that ground you. Because your mind is the gateway to your energy, and what enters it determines the quality of your peace. Your energy is not only affected by people and media, but also by your habits. When you procrastinate, overthink, or keep reliving past pain, you're draining your own energy. When you neglect your body, your rest, your boundaries, you are weakening your spiritual and emotional shield. Guarding your energy means nurturing yourself through good rest, nourishing food, exercise, quiet reflection, and prayer. It means taking care of your inner world so that your outer world doesn't control you. People often mistake busyness for productivity, but constant busyness drains your energy. You can't pour into your purpose when you're running on empty. Rest is not laziness, it's maintenance. It's how you recharge your spirit. It's how you refill your cup so you can give from overflow instead of depletion. When you guard your energy, you learn that rest is holy, solitude is healing, and stillness is power. You begin to schedule peace the way you schedule everything else. Guarding your energy also means not explaining your boundaries. When you start protecting your peace, people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will call you distant, selfish, or cold. But you can't apologize for protecting what keeps you balanced. You owe no one an explanation for choosing yourself. The ones meant for your life will understand. The ones who don't were never meant to go where you're headed. Your peace will confuse those who thrive on your chaos, but you can't lower your vibration to meet people who refuse to rise. Your energy is like a mirror. It reflects what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, you invite more of it. If you tolerate negativity, it becomes normal. But when you raise your standards, your energy changes. You stop attracting confusion because confusion can't exist where clarity lives. You stop attracting chaos because chaos can't breathe in peace. The universe responds to your boundaries. Life gives you more of what you allow. So when you start saying no to things that drain you, you make space for things that heal you. There's also spiritual warfare involved when it comes to energy. Not everything that attacks your peace is visible. Sometimes it's subtle, a negative thought that repeats itself. A memory that keeps reopening wounds, a quiet insecurity that whispers that you're not enough. Guarding your energy means being aware of those inner attacks too. It means recognizing when your thoughts are shifting from truth to fear, from faith to doubt, and choosing to reset them. You guard your energy with prayer, with affirmations, with gratitude, with awareness. You speak peace into your mind before chaos can settle. The more you guard your energy, the more sensitive you become to what doesn't belong in your space. You start sensing when something's off even before it happens. That's your intuition sharpening. That's your spirit guiding you. You start trusting your inner voice more than outside opinions. You stop explaining your choices and start standing firm in them. You stop letting guilt make you overextend yourself. You stop letting fear make you chase things that aren't for you. Protecting your energy makes you confident in your discernment. Guarding your energy also means protecting your dreams. Not everyone can handle your vision. Some people will speak fear into what you're building because they can't see what you see. You can't share every goal with everyone. You can't discuss every idea in every room. Protecting your energy means being wise about what you reveal and to whom. You nurture your dreams privately, you move quietly, and you let your results speak loudly, not out of secrecy, but out of spiritual protection. When you start honoring your energy, you realize how sacred it is to simply feel peaceful. You realize how rare it is to wake up calm, to go through the day without anxiety, to go to sleep without overthinking. You realize that protecting your energy is protecting your sanity. It's protecting your focus, your creativity, your purpose. When you let the wrong people or emotions take root, you lose sight of yourself. But when you guard your energy, you stay aligned with your truth. Guarding your energy is not about building walls. It's about creating filters. You're not shutting people out. You're filtering what you allow in. You're not isolating yourself. You're isolating peace from pollution. It's about knowing that everything carries vibration, and you have the right to choose what frequencies you live in. You start keeping company with people who are peaceful, who speak life, who bring balance. You start craving quiet more than noise, growth more than gossip, purpose more than popularity. When you guard your energy, your whole life changes. You attract better. You think clearer. You love deeper. You speak with intention. You stop being reactive and start being responsive. You become a source of peace instead of a consumer of chaos. And the beautiful thing is, when you guard your energy, you're not only protecting yourself, you're protecting your future, because the energy you carry today builds the life you'll live tomorrow.